ESO's Leadership 2025 End-of-Year Letters to the Community. Read 3 letters from ESO's leadership team where they discuss learnings from a busy year and set the tone and expectations for 2026. ZeniMax Online Studio Head Joe Burba, ESO Game Director Nick, I don't know how to say his last name, Nick G, and Executive Producer Susan Cath share their thoughts on a challenging 2025 and their early plans for the year to come. Okay. From ESO Game Director Nick Giacomini. As another year in Tamriel comes to a close, I want to start with a moment of honest reflection. This has been a challenging year. While we had high ambitions, we stumbled. Writhing Wall was not the experience that we wanted to deliver or that players deserved. Subclassing introduced and highlighted issues with class identity. Previously, we referred to this year as a transition year, yet I feel that there was not enough transition in meaningful ways. Players have been asking us to be more transparent and communicate better, to provide a more rewarding experience, to be more exciting, to address long-standing issues and pain points, to improve combat, class identity, and PvP, and generally make more investment in the core game experience instead of just chasing the next big thing. We hear you. We agree. We've talked about change in the past, but there's been a disconnect in the words we've communicated and what we've released subsequently after those communications. We're going to change that moving forward. We hope you've seen the start of better communication from us, such as the recent Class Identity Refresh deep dive. This is not a temporary goal. We're going to focus more on the core game, transparency, and listening to and incorporating your feedback. It's the foundation of our work and the key to ESO's future. I've said this before, but ESO is nothing without you, our players. We truly believe that by building this game with you, we can make the next decade of The Elder Scrolls Online the best one yet. We know actions speak louder than words, and we will be addressing a lot of this in more concrete detail on January 7th. Have they announced that before? During our 2026 reveal live stream, so stay tuned. I like what we're hearing here. I really like Nick. We haven't heard a lot from him yet, but he feels real. January 7th is new to you? Okay. He feels very real. He feels down to earth. We know that he's been playing the game, at least since launch. I'm not sure if he was a beta player or not, and that he joined ZOS later. And it's always nice when players become devs versus the other way around. He was a beta player? Okay. So I like him. Maybe I'm overly optimistic, but I think he sees some of the same problems we do. I'm glad he's owning up that this year was kind of a flop. So, all right, let's move on. From executive producer Susan Cath. We've talked a lot about 2025 as a transition year, and a great deal of that was going on behind the scenes over the last 12 months. A game as massive as ESO doesn't turn on a dime. Over the last year, we've had leadership changes throughout the studio, retooled the team and our development processes, and built out the new season structure and content while planning out the next 5+ years of ESO. After 8 years of yearly chapter releases, that means rethinking nearly everything from the ground up. We're no strangers to hard work, and it's been roll the sleeves up and get our hands dirty levels of work. But the team is excited. We're all excited to move into this next era. So what are we focusing on next? That's what the 2026 reveal livestream on January 7 is all about. We can't wait to put it in front of you and hear your thoughts. We have a lot to cover in this stream, and we'll also follow it up with additional blog posts, streams, and AMAs going deeper on all the big details. We'll also share more details in the following months on the topics we're only able to cover briefly in the show, such as the introduction of optional overland difficulty modes. Whoa, that's a reveal that offer greater challenges and rewards. The live stream's main topics will be Seasons, the new approach to ESO releases that replaces the content pass. Some of the new content we'll be introducing over the first few seasons. Quality of life improvements, class and combat changes, PvP additions, we heard a little bit about that already, and in-game event changes. And very importantly, how we're going to approach all this so we can surprise and delight you with new additions while working to better incorporate your thoughts and feedback as we tackle reworks and improvements to our core features. We'll go into this in much greater detail in the 2026 reveal livestream, so I'll just wrap up my part of this letter by asking you to join us on January 7, plus keep bringing us your questions, thoughts, and ideas. We're looking forward to hearing from you. It does look like they have started incorporating more like feedback surveys, especially with the PvP stuff, which is kind of exciting to see. We'll see if they use it, right? The proof is in the pudding. But they announced the difficulty toggle a year ago. I was hoping to get it this year. I know they were talking about it, but I don't know if they actually like said it was coming. But this sounds like it's coming and that they're going to reveal it on the 7th, like a full reveal. Goodbye, Content Pass. We barely knew you and won't really miss you at all. Nice. All right. Next. Wanting to add something and being able to implement it are always two different things. That's why I was wondering about the wording. I knew that they had talked about the possibility of it, but I didn't know that they had said that it was coming. Like they've been talking about crossplay, right? But they haven't promised when it's coming. They've just said, we're trying to make it happen. You know what I mean? They said they were trying to figure out how to increase overland difficulty. I don't think they ever set a time frame at all. We'll have to take a peek at that. Might have to dig in and see what they said before. I knew they mentioned updates to overland difficulty, but didn't think they ever said anything about how that might look. More of a, we're going to address it, but not sure how. Like literally saying, nope, turns out that will break things. As far as I know, they've only said they were investigating, no plan to implement, which is a level of worry. They have a lot to untangle with crossplay because of the way the servers are physically built. Right. The game was never designed with the intent for crossplay, right? That was not even a glimmer in their eye, right? As the saying goes, I think. That was one of my fears when they mentioned it, that it would be a permanent update to difficulty, not a toggle or vet versus normal type situation. Yeah, and it's funny because we have such a breadth of skill levels within the game that you have players who struggle with overland content and you have players that think it's dumb easy. And to try to cater to both of those is really, really difficult. All right, let's see what Joe says. Studio head Joe Burba. As we hope you have already started to see, communication with you is one of the first things about ESO that is changing. And those changes don't stop after January 7th. In 2026, the communication from us will be focused on the overall plan. It will get into more practical information about what we will be testing and when, what kinds of feedback we're looking for to help us iterate, and what is changing based on that feedback. If you are reading this letter, chances are the things that truly excite you are learning the details of what we're doing and then testing them out so that you can help us deliver fun things to the community. We may try some crazy things, and we may not always get it 100% right, but what we always want to get right is that you feel heard and that our actions prove it. We appreciate your support every year, but especially so this year. With all the changes in 2025 and the bumps that resulted, we found that focusing on the ESO fam motivated us and reminded us why we're all here, to make and play great games with our friends. Have a great end of year, and we'll see you January 7th. Well, that's exciting. They wrote that purchase for use fan research. I know! I love sciencing things. I love it. We may try some crazy things. What do we think that means? All right, let's discuss.